The fastest way to start a fishing charter business with no prior experience, if you're starting at absolute zero, and it's not as hard as you probably think it is. You might be thinking like, oh, well, like I have to have all these years of experience and all this different stuff, but that's not necessarily the case. It can be, but not always. And what I want to share with you is basically kind of a bit of an analogy to hopefully like make you realize that you can do it way faster than you think. So there's this thing called ignorance debt, and you might have heard of it before, but it's basically just like assuming that you've like never even fished before, or maybe you have a little bit, but you like don't really know enough to guide. Let me put it into perspective for you. You don't get more credit, like social credit, for trying to get through a mountain, if that's the task, if you're trying to get through the mountain with a hammer. Like if you're just taking a hammer and you're trying to hammer your way or chisel your way through a mountain, it's going to take you a really long time, but the goal is still to just get through the mountain. Versus if somebody else comes in and they start stacking it with dynamite and they're blowing it up and they get through it in 1,000 times faster than you. At the end of the day, you both got through the mountain, and that's like basically all that matters. So I want you to just envision there's like a mountain in front of you and you just have to get through it. And sure, you can chisel your way with a hammer and stuff and take a few years or a couple decades to get through it if you want, and some people do, and that's fine. But let's put it into perspective of hours. If it's like, okay, you just have to fish 1,000 hours, let's say, which is probably a little bit more than that, to be honest, but let's just say for the sake of numbers, you have to fish for 1,000 hours to like get to this point where you're good enough to guide. Okay, well, you could fish 1 hour a year for 1,000 years. You could fish 10 hours a year for 100 years. You could fish 100 hours a year for 10 years. Or you could just fish 1,000 hours in 1 year and get it all out of the way in year one. And at the end of the day, you still have the same hours of experience as someone who's done it at all different levels. And I'm not saying that all fishing guides have the same level of fishing experience. What I'm saying is to break through that mountain and to have the confidence enough to do it, you just have to pay down that ignorance debt. So you can literally just do it in a fraction of the time, because it's not measured in years of how long it takes you. Like you don't have to be fishing for 10 years. It really just boils down to hours spent on the water and actually doing the activity that gives you the confidence to do it. So yeah, just view it through that lens and you'll get there way faster than you probably could otherwise.